Good afternoon slash evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a match from RBT3 Round 5 right here on Dead Center and XBuy Stream. We are bringing you a match between teams Aniimu and Proximity right here on Dead Center. I'm expecting a great game in the vein that we saw last night with that matchup between Fuckboys and eHarmony. It was great, it was on this stream, and we have the same set of casters for this matchup here today. Mr. K-Orange, how are you doing on this wonderful afternoon?
You better believe I'm doing fantastic, Reels Barlow, and I am so excited to see what these two teams have in store, especially after last night's game. I'm sure that's not the last time last night's game will come up during this cast, but I'm just excited to see what these two teams are going to bring to the table.
Indeed, and we do apologize for the rather prodigious delay here. We did have a little bit of issues selecting a server, but thanks to the wonderful administration at StayDead and also Mr. Visor, we were able to get on the server with all the necessary plugins working and all. Well, I mean, besides the fact XBuy has 20 tick rate in caster, but I mean, besides that, everything else is going pretty well now, and we're just waiting for the last member of Team Aniimu to show up. Reason being is that obviously for a North American versus European affair, we had to choose a server in New York. We tried a couple of options before, and then we eventually landed on this one. But in all that server switching, we had one of the players from Aniimu accidentally fall off the internet, as Fish would say, and we're just waiting for him to come back on. As soon as he does, we'll be able to get this game live. I am expecting a great game today here, K-Orange.
Me too, and all the same things that we were talking about still apply. Dead Center is can be a very back and forth campaign. Each map has its own set of tricks, its own set of different areas, team variants and what they decide to do, as well as, especially this first map, definite death charge potential and some spit charges here in the opening hallway. And what's the tank percentage looking like? Can we see that yet?
I believe we can, due to the fact, yeah, it's 82%, so it's going to be the same that we actually saw in the match yesterday, where it's going to be downstairs. And I believe Zero, our friendly other tournament administrator, has joined, and I need to tell him to leave because he needs to leave because that he's in our last slot.
Gosh dang it, Zero. It's okay, though. But yeah, with an 82% tank all the way down, again, down the elevator, it's consistent with what I've seen all week. Every time I've played a pug or seen a scrim or anything like that.
I like how Zero's like STFU, I'm admin, and then everyone just tells him, leave. No, get out. Get out. Get out. Leave the server. We cannot have any more of those delays because, no, it needs to go the way it's going. But both these teams are 2-2, and as you were saying, Carnage, this is a map with a lot of variation to it.
Exactly, and okay, just to go back what I was saying, every time I've seen a scrim or played a pug or anything like that on this map, it's always been the safe room tank, and then I'm sure it's been the same for most of these teams, and as they come into the actual match, they're having to deal with a tank that's, seldom seen down below after the elevator.
Right, and I mean, in this situation here, there are two places to fight downstairs. We'll see which one they employ. We saw one tank play a rock tank in that area in the match last night, and one tank attempt to commit, but we finally do have all the players in the server. We are going to do a roster rundown because this game should be going live very soon. Both these teams 2-2. The winner keeps their playoff hopes alive, and the loser, unfortunately, is going to fall to 3 losses. Not very recoverable in terms of making it past the Swiss stage of this tournament. So, starting off, we have Team Aniimu on the Survivor, and that's going to be KO, Step, Sismo, and Don Arnie. Who do we have for Team Proximity, K-Orange?
For Proximity, we have .:/ Arctic Fox, Chi, and Lucky Dog 32.
Indeed we do, and that .:/ person, that is Lawnmower. So
Lawnmower, I would not have guessed that in a million years, so...
I appreciate his use of kind of alphanumeric / symbolic characters to make a small little icon in his name there that I'm sure it could be showing up as boxes for some people, but for me at least it looks like a lawnmower, so that's how he's got that name.
Now that you say that, I'm looking right at it. It does look like a lawnmower.
Right, yeah, I mean, it kind of does. It has that little thing there. And as soon as Step Ray's up, we should be able to take this live. And indeed, we are going live. Aniimu versus Proximity right here. As we said, winner gets a step closer to making a comeback for that elimination stage. Single boom going out right here onto Rochelle, who is the only survivor with a shotgun. It's going to be Lucky Dog 32's tank, as a matter of fact, at 82%. Very good tank. We'll see how that plays out. That single boom is going to set up the SI to probably get a spitter here, K-Orange.
Exactly, and that's not a bad choice. Narrow hallways, dead center, spitter, at the forefront of your mind. However, I'm looking at this the way the Charger and the Smoker are standing here. Could we potentially see a Death Charge attempt? Or are they just maybe watching the survivors? I'm a little curious. We're just gonna have to wait and see. Oh, look, actually looks like they're setting up for some sort of spit charge here with the spitter in the back.
Yeah, they want the witch. That's what they're set up on because they have the witch in front of the cold drink machine up there.
Gotcha.
So I think they're probably going to try to have some kind of diversion in the front and then send like a spit charge in the back to maximize the damage. As it is in Pro Mod, there are only 2 guns for the survivors coming out of that safe room until they get down the elevator there. They have 1 silenced Uzi and 1 chrome shotgun. We actually see a hit coming in right now. They're going for the death charge. The Charger, however, slams into the wall. Jockey manages to land on it. Nick, that's going to be a lot of damage on the survivors, but it was not a death, and they did not capitalize on the witch. Rochelle is going to go up and is going to nail that crown. So that could have gone worse for the survivors, but still a nice chunk of damage coming out from proximity.
Definitely. Actually chunked down 3 survivors, maybe about 20-25 health. That's decent, and in fact, down below, it looks like the SI have not had the chance to knock down the fire doors, and I think the SI or the survivor team Aniimu is actually going to be able to take that. We do have a boomer going in, managing to land a single boom on their front character. Sorry, Step usually looks like they're taking the front. They do have the Hunter scratch down the fire doors, which is going to force the survivors out onto the ledge, which is a more precarious location. It's actually exactly where Proximity wants them as the SI team.
Indeed, I think Aniimu, you know, if you take the fire route, you probably take about like 20 damage as you also have a hit into your face. But this is not the ideal setup for the Special Infected. They do not have the Charger for a death charge potential here. As a matter of fact, it looks as though they're going to have to try to get either damage or maybe just a couple quick ledge hangs. Like a wipe here is not probable if they don't have that Charger. It's going to be a Hunter, a Jockey, a Spitter, and a Smoker, especially because that Hunter is chipped. So I think they're probably going to go for damage here instead because trying to get some kind of wipe with stumbles is very unlikely.
Yeah, really, really unlikely. Not impossible, but it's not something you're going to see every day. I also do see that they found 2 Desert Eagles, which makes the survivors' firepower a little bit more significant, which we do see that exactly. Taking out the Smoker in the back there. Sismo playing coach. The Hunter manages to land, and the Spit is a little bit late. Not too much damage going to go out there on KO, but he actually manages to get the leg hang, or Chi manages to get the ledge hang on KO. A little bit of damage there, but not too significant. The survivors might be able to push the elevator at this speed.
Oh, it's going to be close. They got the Charger in the hands of Lumar. He could go for the solo charge here. That's what I was looking at. And if they don't block it, he could honestly try to, but it looks as though he is. They have the Smoker Charger. They're going to go for it. Smoker Pulse going to go, and that's going to be a death charge off the top right there. Beautiful play by Proximity. I was worried about that, Karen, when you were talking about, like, they might be able to push the over, but I was like, they have a couple spawns coming up. They got the exact spawns they need, and that is the first death charge we have seen in this round so far.
It looks like they were thinking exactly like I would have been in that situation, which is just to push right for the elevator, but I think they miscounted, again, like I did, and managed and ate the death charge, unfortunately. But very, very good play by Proximity there. Now the survivors in a very dangerous situation, having to fight this tank with only 3 survivors. That's almost usually a wipe, except for the highly skilled survivors teams. We're just going to have to see what they can do here.
Indeed, and this hit's going to be a Spitter, Boomer, Charger, and Jockey, so no tri-cap, but definitely some damage potential coming out. Charger is going to try working his way in right now. He actually is going to back off as the Jockey goes in. Jockey gets shut down. Charger goes in, manages to land onto Ellis, who is obviously health bonus. That's going to be a good amount of damage, even with the Spit not spreading too far into the elevator. Boomer is going to get M2'd around. They almost got the down on Ellis there, but he was able to pop his pills before that happened. So if you're the survivors here, K-Orange, do you try to run or do you try to fight this tank?
For me, I think that hit was the deciding factor in that I would try to run. I don't think, now that they have a bleeder, they have fog cover, they do have a full hit coming up with a tank, and it looks like Team Aniimu is going to decide to try and run, but the tank is going to play a little bit of goalie. The tank up in the hands of Lucky Dog 32. Do we want to send it to a war room?
I think we should probably keep it here due to the fact there are only 3 survivors and that rock did just land. We have both worms available to us, but in a situation like this, typically the tank's just going to roll in and this is going to happen. He's going to push in, he's going to get biled. Rest of the SI should be coming in to support him in a second because the Uzis are doing slowdown work. Tank's going to go back through the fire. We actually see the survivors clearing the Smoker there, and the survivors are in a full sprint right now. They get double capped up front. Step is the only one left. The tank actually broke flow for a second there and allowed the survivors to get a little bit more distance than I think they probably wanted. With that being said, though, he is going to secure the wipe in the next couple of punches right here, getting Step down. So pretty quick sequence of events there, and obviously now a great opportunity for Proximity to capitalize off that early death.
Yeah, I want to give a little bit of props to Team Aniimu there. That was pretty funny. They biled the tank and then juked around the tank by running through the fire and getting out into the open area. So very good try. Unfortunately, that double cap up in front and just to take the momentum out of their step. But decent try, and I can't fault them for that decision of trying to get, as many points as they can with one survivor down.
Exactly, and now the flip side of this is going to be, can Team Proximity avoid having a catastrophic death or having some insane amount of damage go out on the Witch or a Tricap or something that you typically see on this first map. Now, I will say, even if they manage to make the safe room with a multi-100-point lead, I have not seen that really be the deciding factor on Dead Center. We've seen a lot of turn map potentials on map 2 and map 3. Obviously, the Atrium is its own kind of beast for a multiple amount of reasons, some of which were discussed in the RNG's capacity last night with the match that we saw, but we're not going to get to that quite yet. We still got 3 maps to go before we get there, but this I have not exactly seen really be the map that's a nail in the coffin for another team, honestly, like off this first map.
Yeah, I mean, like we keep saying, each map in Dead Center, you said the Atrium was its own beast. I think every map in Dead Center is its own beast. You can't tell, even off a significant lead off the first map, you can't tell where the teams are going to end up as the campaign goes on.
So as we go live here, that jockey is electing to blow out the fire doors and then jump off the side. I think they want a spitter there. They also sent a boomer in to get a single boom out on Team Proximity on the survivor side now, and I'm expecting them to do something similar to what we saw Proximity do on Special Infected in terms of what Aniimu is going to do here.
Yeah, it looks like something very similar. I don't think they're going for this early death charge. They're probably going to set up on the Witch. Looks like the Smoker is standing around the Witch as we're looking here. In fact, the entire Infected team is crowded around her. She's the little QB of this Infected hit. They're really hoping for that first down because, short of a death charge, the best thing you can get up here is a down, have them bleeding all the way down the first few floors and through that elevator. And it really makes the tank fight down below much more difficult when you have a bleeding survivor.
Yeah, Coach right here, Lawnmower, as a matter of fact, as we mentioned before, he's the one with the shotgun. The Uzi is in the hands of Ellis, who's watching the back. And I think the strategy right here is going to try to go for the quick draw crown. He's going to go for it, nails the crown, as a matter of fact. Smoker does get a pull on to a survivor there. Lots of damage going out, but that charger actually, as I said, lots of damage. I thought he was going to get more punches, but the survivors did a great job shutting that charger down before he got anything more than one punch.
Yeah, shout out to Lawnmower there for mowing down that Witch as well as the Hunter immediately after. Really nice work by Proximity there.
I appreciate the pun. I really do. That was worth it. So, we haven't seen a spitter yet, which is interesting. So it's going to be a Hunter, a Smoker, a Boomer, and a Jockey. Boomer going in, gets a beautiful tri-boom, and I think the Infected now, I don't know, are they going to sack something here? I'm not entirely sure, because they might try to go for the same kind of death charge we saw earlier, which happened a little bit later, and indeed they do sack the Hunter.
Did they sack something else, or... Oh, that's just Common falling off the building. I was a little confused there for a second.
Yeah, I mean, it was simply, I think, a case of they haven't gotten a spitter yet. Let's go for the death charge potential. And they have the Smoker Jockey Charger right here. Now, honestly, I've seen every team avoid the fire by going outside. Like, that's the thing that forces them to go that route. But at the same point in time, in a situation like this, I would almost be partial to, like, cutting back inside and then going through only the second half of the fire in order to avoid this death charge, because we've seen crazier things happen, and the Charger's gonna get a free charge on the Lawnmower. He was the one who got charged before. We have a ledge hang and a Smoker for the cap. That is one of the first times in a competitive match like this that I've seen 2 death charges happen consecutively on consecutive survivor rounds. That was insane, K-Orange. That Charger took what he saw.
Exactly. Was that step? Very nice work on that. A free death charge just through the window all the way off the building. Poor Coach, my favorite survivor, actually having to eat that death charge ripped in pieces, but we do have the same situation. Each, Proximity wasn't going to get away that easy with their death charge. We do have a Hunter coming in. Hunter gets that cap, and unfortunately the Charger's a little bit late to getting that cover, but a decent amount of damage, and the elevator door is shut. Now, I have to mention the same exact thing for this survivor team. They have to choose whether they run or whether they stay, and I think running is going to be the preferred strategy here.
Indeed, and I think they're going to probably use that file in a similar fashion. They obviously have their 3 sets of pills. They're all fast with their permanent health, and what the SI team needs to do now is they just need to find a way to prevent the survivors from blitzing past them, similar to what we saw Team Aniimu try to do when they were on the survivor. Yeah, follow your teammate and run for the save from X-Fly. That's not exactly a team play here, but they have reached the bottom of the elevator. They all have guns. It's going to be a Smoker, Hunter, Spitter, and a Jockey. Hunter going in. That's a tri-cap. Oh my goodness. The SI play from Aniimu so far has been spectacular, K-Orange. That is one of the prettier tri-caps I think I've seen this tournament.
Absolutely beautiful. Perfect execution there by Aniimu. Well done. Actually securing, it looked pretty it looked a little shaky for them until that death charge. These last few hits have been absolutely incredible by Aniimu. We are going into the next chapter, Dead Center Map 2, with a score of 331 to 262. Aniimu will be taking the hands of the survivors on the first round here.
Exactly, and I thought they were in a little bit of trouble after that death charge landed, and they turned right back around. They did what they needed to do in terms of answering, and this is going to be, if that's any prelude to the rest of the game, I am expecting another great matchup similar to the one that we saw yesterday right here. Our tank is going to be at 70%, so that's quite a late tank. I'm a huge fan of the early tank on this map, and I'm a little bit disappointed we haven't seen it more in the games yet, but at the same point in time, this is now going to turn the map into a situation where the survivors are going to have to mitigate all the damage they possibly can to use this almost as an endurance scenario to get to that tank in this situation.
Yeah, I would say that this Dead Center Map 2, based on what we saw yesterday when each team was playing Dead Center Map 2, this is a very... I don't want to say very, but it has historically been an SI-centered map. You keep this first hit here can be really, really dangerous. There's a lot of spit charge potential having to go through that stairwell and then out and under the bridge. This can be rough, and not to mention the Coca-Cola run there for Whitaker's gun store at the end of the map. This can be a tough situation for survivor teams because any amount of bleeding damage or any slowdowns can really lengthen this map and make it very difficult for survivors to go along.
Indeed. And as X and I raise up here, we are going to be taking it live, as you mentioned before. Team Aniimu on the survivor, defending just about a 70-point lead, just underneath, actually, 69-point lead. I love that number. But besides that, we are going to see Team Proximity on Special Infected. They are going to have a 2-2 with a boom spit on this first hit. And I don't know, K-Orange, I don't know about the damage potential of a 2-2 in this area.
Yeah, usually it's not what you want to see. You kind of want one or the other, the spit chart or the spitter damage on a capper, or you want the boomer for potential separation. So we do have the survivor team actually pushing out under the awning here. Nice pop on that boomer with a momentary pull, but they do get the hunter spitter right there. Ooh, the double death spit. A decent amount of damage, but well received by Rochelle player there. Step hopping up on the police barricades to avoid most of that spit damage.
So he took a step up there to avoid that spit, huh? To avoid most of that damage.
He did. That's exactly what happened.
Okay, this could be really dangerous because the survivors are blitzing here, and I think I hear a witch. Indeed, she's on the other side of the door right here, and obviously they made the right call not to push that too hard because there is a full head up. It's going to be a jockey, a smoker, a boomer, and spitter. So another 2-2, which is getting aggroed. Coach, who is Sismo for Team Aniimu, is in the corner over there blocking those spawns. This is going to turn into some kind of Mexican standoff, Karen. I can feel it.
Yeah, this witch is in a very, a very tough position actually. I don't know who's going to try to draw it. It looks like the coach player there is going to try to draw her and have her climb over the barricade. Sismo, maybe? Let's see what the survivors do here. Team Aniimu needs to take this well.
Draw it. I think he's going to short draw it. He's going to go back over. And actually, that was a bait. I thought what he was going to do is he was just going to go and sit and then have her run directly at him for the crown. Because obviously, the jockey's not going to be able to bounce past the wish, I don't think, in that area. So if it were me playing the survivors there, I would just do a short draw crown. And I mean, the infected have already done a little bit of damage to the witch as well. It sounds inconsequential, but if you accidentally screw up the shot and shoot a little bit to the left or the right, any extra damage you can get to kill that witch is really helpful. So I think that's what I would do.
Yeah, this, like you said, the SI appear to be stuck there. We saw those common actually get a little stuck there trying to go around the witch. As small as she looks, she's actually pretty tanky.
The patience level, I agree. Like, I'm just saying, 5 hours later. Now, see, if he tries to draw it there, it might curve on him, and he's actually going to take her up the stairs. The rest of the hit is coming in from the front. We have a pull going out in the back. Survivor's just trucking through that spit, which is actually coming up for Coach right here, and it's actually going to down him because it went through the pylon in front. And that is one of the situations where I really don't like crowning witches, where you have to run back through a level to get that crown. I hate it because stuff like that can happen.
Exactly, and something that's not, that you don't really have to think about in non-competitive Left 4 Dead 2, but now that Team Aniimu has to think about, is they have a bleeder. They have somebody slowly sapping away health, and they have pills they're going to need to be committing. And still plenty of this map to go, including the tank. The tank actually comes in now with the Charger whiffing in the back. Hunter lands up front with a terrible amount of damage there. Oh my goodness, very good cap right there by Lucky Dog on Team Proximity. Now that they have two bleeders pre-tank, it's looking very, very dangerous because when you're bleeding out health, you have to commit pills, and that's all you have for the rest of the map. It's going to make the tank fight dangerous. It's going to make the late map event dangerous. It's going to make it much more difficult for the survivors to make it to that safe room. They really need to start moving.
And what Proximity is doing here, they are sending some extremely fast hits. That hit right there was worth it, I think, to give up this choke, which would usually be with like a smoke charge spit on the stairs here. They're actually going to come from the back instead, so they could still really maximize the damage potential. As soon as I say that, we have the smoker going in, the charger does whiff, there's spit everywhere, and it got a little bit onto Ella, so not a terrible amount of damage there, but again, if you look at Animu's health, they are all around half health, with the people who have permanent left, and the people who are bleeding out are also around half health, so this damage spread is absolutely fantastic from Team Proximity so far.
Yeah, great work by Proximity. They're really setting the pace with their SI play. Now that they have the tank coming up in a little bit, it's going to be a rough fight for Aniimu.
It really is. I mean, Aniimu is going to have to make some kind of play here. Like, it is possible for them to still survive the tank, especially in a situation like this, that's going to be right here on this bridge. Very, very notoriously hard tank for the SI to deal with. Personally, my favorite strategy is hitting a car up there, and I think that's what she's going to do as well. Smoker, Hunter, and Jockey coming in for the hit right here. If that car goes a little bit higher, if you hit it correctly from that lot, it can land in the middle, and that turns the tables immediately. I think we should take it over to our first Worm of the game. Let's give it to a Team Proximity Special Infected Worm for this tank.
Let's do it.
Wait, how do you get
that
up
little
there?
pipe
Right there,
that,
behind you.
right behind you. Little tiny pipe. Right
No,
behind
behind you.
Behind you.
Right there.
Yeah, no cross jump to the roof.
I can get you a rock. Get up there.
Alright.
Close.
So close. Nice boom.
Keep rocking him, don't lose sight. Oh.
Oh, that was close.
I might be able to get another boom.
Yeah, if you land a boom, I'll commit. God. It'd be better if I can bring the ball
I
up
think
there.
you're gonna have to commit no matter what.
Nice, nice. I'll commit.
Okay. Oh, they're going back.
All the way back?
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Hope I don't wait either.
Fox, I don't think you're allowed to do that.
Oh.
I think you're good. You definitely got enough rage. Hop out now. He's clear.
And Scott, fucking God for him. Next up the stairs behind you, go for him.
Two
good
Zeo,
damage.
slow down.
And we are back from that special infected Team Proximity Worm, and an interesting call right there by Aniimu. Their health was already in a pretty shaky situation. They got boomed again because they didn't pop the boomer, and then they ran backwards there into a less favorable area, in my opinion, than they would have taken on that bridge. What do you think about that, K-Orange?
Like I was saying in the caster war room here, I think the survivors got a little bit frightened by the boom. You know, when you typically think of a zombie game like Left 4 Dead 2, you think you're the human, you gotta run away from the zombies. However, in Left 4 Dead 2, with this giant fenced-in area and just a one long tunnel, even with the oh, actually, sorry, break here for the hit coming in. We got a nice double boom coming out with the Hunter leaping in, managed to be nicely skeeted there by Sismo, as well as the Charger getting shut down. But back to that tank real quick. If the survivors would have stood strong and just, you know, funneled the common, the tank, and all the SI down this one long tunnel, those Uzis would have done some serious work, and I think the survivors could have gotten that out of that much less damage.
You literally just saw that on that hit that you casted right there, because they just stood pat on the ground, they got double boomed, and all the SI died in about 3 seconds. Because the Charger got focused, the Smoker got cleared, everything else just got annihilated by those Uzis. We have another hit coming in here right now. Nice clear and nice skeet coming out. Beautiful shutdown by Aniimu, except for that spit damage, which was a little bit unfortunate for them. But again, this could actually give Team Proximity a big chance to make up some tracks here, due to the fact that this event can be done only really if you have at least 3 people fast. Like, Animu's gonna really try to get it in, but I don't think they're gonna have a lot of success, especially if they split up.
Exactly, and something to note that this event has been given a shortcut in competitive Left 4 Dead 2. You can do this in vanilla. There is a shopping cart you can move over to get back up. But actually, it does not work out for the survivors here. They have one of their fellow survivors punched down here. Like you said, it really helps to have people fast, and Nick actually gets pulled in the back. They now have to deal with 2 in caps. Even with the shortcut over the shopping cart, It's actually causing a lot of separation here and a lot of damage. And they have the cap from the jockey up in front. Well played by Team Proximity. That's going to be 3 downs. Actually, a death onto Coach there. Sismo.
Yeah, and this is a situation where I think I would have preferred to see Team Aniimu go around the truck over there, because you can milk 500 distance points out of this map if you go around the truck with all the survivors. My usual rule of thumb is that if you don't have all 4 fast, or at least 3 fast, you can't really get the cola, and that's where you get to the point where it's like you just kind of accept that and then go get as many points as you can. Nice happened to a Mad Hunter, and that's exactly what we see Nick doing right now. That's the most they're going to get out of this. They're not going to get the points for the Witch, and honestly, with the game as tight as it is, their SI is going to have to replicate what they did map 1 in order to get Proximity in a similar spot, because like I said, Proximity played great SI this entire chapter.
Yes, they have, and Proximity also... Oh, actually, we do have a jockey coming in here on Ellis up in the front. That's dangerous. We're moments away from the wipe here. With KO, KO slow, limping around. Looks like he's going to make his last stand here on the blue sedan. Trying to shoot the Charger, and the Charger takes him and pounds him into the dust. There we go. We have a chapter score there of 484 points for Team Aniimu. Let's see what Proximity can bring to the table on their Survivor play.
We will see if they can do a little bit better than what happened to them on that first round, because, yeah, it seems as though it's going to be one of those games, if this holds true to how the score delta is right now, plus the performance that we've seen, like, Proximity has a big chance here. Like I said, I want to say this is a good precursor to it being close, but if Proximity can just blaze through these hits right here and then not have a situation on the Witch where they take an entire hit and an in-cap, and then they can also... I think we're going to see them take the tank in the spot we thought Aniimu was going to take the tank on that bridge there, because as we mentioned, it's so brutal to have 3 silenced Uzis in that spot. It's almost unfair.
Exactly. I feel like Proximity plays a little more aggressive, or tends to stand their ground. Just from watching them in this first map with their Survivor play. Obviously, you can't tell too much, both death charges going out there, but I think they're going to take it in that bridge. It's going to, like you said, it's going to be very, very brutal if the Survivors just stand there and rail that tank with 3 Uzis. It's going to be rough, and I think this map is going to come down to how that tank fight is handled and how it is played on both sides.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing about this map in particular is that if you don't play it as much, then you start seeing SI coming from spawns that you're not used to. Like, this map is not played in competitive nearly as much as Dark Carnival, Parish, and Hard Rain. To be fair, nothing is played nearly as much as those maps, but at the same point in time, this is a situation where the survivors are going to have to be cognizant of where those spawns are coming from, because again, we saw on the last round, right, when they went for the draw crown on the Witch, they actually had to run through Spit in order not to be, like, stuck in the room with them, and then we had a smoker pull in the back, and then the Witch was able to get the down, and that set up the survivors to be in a really bad spot with one person bleeding, and then they got separated on the hit after that. So, really what I'd like to see them do here is typically my team runs 4 shotguns on this, and I think they're going to copy that, as a matter of fact. Well, not copy, but use the same strategy, because Lord knows, whatever strategies in this game were originated about, like, 6 years ago, but they're going to run the 4 shotgun strat as well with the melee weapons, and I love that kind of... I kind of like playing this map similar to Parish, you know what I mean? Just, like, shotguns and melee weapons everywhere.
And just to talk about, not being aware of where the hits are going to be coming from, even in vanilla Dead Center, the hits aren't coming from the same place as in Pro Mod, because they've unlocked a few little areas for the SI to get up to, as well as if you haven't practiced this map a lot, you're not going to see or know where the SI is coming from. But we do have the hit coming in with a nice single boom going, as well as the Hunter landing. Unfortunately, that Spit does not go up on the police barricade. However, KO pops in with a smoker and pulls Ellis down to the Spit for a nice bit of damage. Wow.
That was a great play. That smoker went in there and pulled him off of the... Because Lucky Dog tried to do what Step did and get on top of something to avoid the spit, but then the smoker pulled him back down into that death spit. Great capitalization right there. Those kind of heads-up plays are exactly what are needed in a situation like this, where your special infected needs to replicate a strong performance. We're going to have a Spitter, Boomer, Jockey, and a Hunter, and I think they might just, like, save it for where the Witch is at, because typically you'd want to see, like, a Charger in that room, but because they have the Witch as the quote-unquote 5th SI, I think they're just going to, like, play it safe. And you know what? I think the survivors might be able to shoot her, maybe. Actually, maybe not, because they tried to do that and then they went far, but she did get aggroed from that, which is really odd.
Oh, actually, I think they're putting down the oxygen tank. They're going to try to stumble her.
Oh,
stumble strat coming out.
This would be really interesting if that actually works. Boomer's going to go in and gets nicely popped, but I will be stunned if this actually works. Let's see. There's the stumble, so she's going to come back out. That's what they wanted. I'm not exactly sure who she's on, but the Witch is going to go in and actually getting meleeed a lot. Beautiful crown by Lucky Dog. We have separation in the back. That's actually going to be a lot of damage on the Chief. Wow, that's going to be a lot more than I thought it was going to be because nobody cleared her. That would have been picture perfect had that pin in the back not happened. That's almost an in-cap. Wow.
That was an unpredictable situation where 4 shotguns were not ideal. They didn't have an Uzi to clear past the spit pool. They couldn't run through the spit, and they couldn't clear with just the pump shotguns outside the door. Even though the Witch actually didn't land, they're going to get those 20 points, but they took a lot of damage there.
Yeah, the most important part about that, I think, is that they didn't take the in-cap, though, because even though they got somebody close to being in-cap right there, the fact that they still have that permanent health to ride on, and then they can keep finding pills and feeding that to that person, that's one less thing they have to worry about. Plus, they also got the 20 points, as you mentioned. It's going to be a Spitter, a Jockey, a Smoker, and a Boomer. So another 2-2 here for the Special Infected. I think they're going to try to hit, as the survivors are trying to work their way over this dumpster. Smoker's working his way in. Jockey gets M2'd. Boomer gets absolutely nothing. Spitter is going to miss. Smoker's also going to miss. And that right there is a good example of the survivors successfully shutting down a 2 to an area where they probably should have. If they keep doing that and taking this map as it's supposed to be taken in a perfect world, I think they're going to be in a good position to take the lead.
Exactly, yeah. Proximity has a lot more health than Aniimu did at this point, and they're pushing right past that dangerous stair choke with no SI hit up. They are now down to the open street. With the SI coming up, we're looking at a Jockey, Spitter, Hunter, and a Smoker. Another non-Charger hit, which, you know, Chargers kind of lead in the damage sense. They're going to be hitting on the stairs. There is a lot of damage that could come out, especially with that Spitter, but they don't have the tank that is the Charger.
Fortunately for them, they do have the 3-cap here, and it looks like they're going for something pretty interesting. That Smoker's in the tree. Hunter pre-spawns up front, Jockey to left. I think they're trying to make a separation play here, like pulling somebody into that like tree where you don't usually even see it happen, but Nick knows that that Smoker is exactly where we thought it was, and he's going to miss his pull. Now getting chased. We are going to see the Hunter landing onto Nick, however. Jockey's going to go in, but then kind of pulls out in a pretty staggered hit here from Aniimu. Jockey jumping around, not getting much of anything, and I think that probably would have gone a little bit better had the Smoker actually been able to land that pull, but I think the tree actually worked against him there, where Nick was able to kite the tongue around it.
Yeah, I don't know what the SI was thinking there. They might have been trying, you know, maybe banking on that Jockey for the separation, get that 2-cup up in the front and have the Jockey pull forward. But we do have the tank spawning up in the hands of KO on Team Aniimu. And what do you think about the War Room, Rails?
Let's take it over to our first team, Enemy War Room. After this hit, we have a Jockey going in. Charger hits the Jockey and stumbles, but then does get a punch onto Arctic Fox. And now will be, I think, a perfect time to give Aniimu their Special Infected War Room for this tank in the hands of Kyo, as you mentioned.
Oh merde! Chine, il avait pas mon flash.
Allez, on finit avant 21 minutes, c'est bon ça. Enfin, avant 20 minutes.
Ah, c'est pas souvent.
Voilà, on les a bien défendus. Oh, mec, j'ai S+.
Ah ouais?
Ouais.
Ah, mais j'ai pas regardé.
Ah, c'est super rare ça.
And we are back from that apparently non-English worm that we have for Team Aniimu. I still feel okay with this because I'm sure there are some people who are probably able to understand what they were saying. At the same point in time, and Xbox wants to burn she at the stake, that was a much better tank take, I believe, by Team Proximity there, K-Orange, because they did the strat we were thinking about, where those Uzis just demolished that tank all the way down that tunnel.
Yeah, I hate to use the pun again, but they mowed that tank down. We heard the Uzis absolutely working overtime on that tank. After the first set of reloads from the survivors, the tank was 50% down. That's exactly what we wanted to see, or that's exactly the strategy. That's a very survivor-focused area. It seems like you should run away from the tank, but in that particular situation, it was much better to stand your ground, and Proximity did just that and took that tank beautifully.
Indeed, and now this is a situation where obviously Team Proximity is in a beautiful position to take a huge lead depending on how they do this event. They're going to be able to use Chi as the non-bonus damage sponge here, as a matter of fact, because nobody on their team has taken an in-cap. Hunter's going to go inside, managing to land onto Chi, a little bit disoriented there due to the fact that the Charger didn't follow up yet, but now we've got the situation where Chi is stuck in Spit, and so is Arctic Fox, a great amount of damage going out, but that still does not solve the problem that the the survivors without health bonus are going to be able to pretty much sponge this entire map.
Exactly, and I think not taking an in cap is a significant bonus to points at the end. Am I mistaken? Does that add to your health bonus?
Which part?
Not taking an in cap. Actually, we do have a hit coming up.
know.
Smoker actually smokes Nick up there, almost a double cap. Oh, actually, a double
Wow.
cap actually lands on their biggest health bonus, Nicholas. Lawnmower actually gets jockeyed into the room. That's almost an in cap. If that's not an in cap, actually. Yeah, that's definitely an in cap on their highest amount of health bonus. Unfortunate little cap there. Ellis, his teammate Lucky Dog, almost got the clear with the Uzi, but not quite before taking 100 pounds.
That was actually both of their health bonuses up there, and I am being informed by Hiv that is indeed a higher multiplier if you don't go down, so the more you know on that situation. They have taken an in-cap now, though, and obviously their bonus was also pretty much decimated on that hit. Like, even Lucky Dog lost a good amount of his as that full in-cap went out on to Nick. It's going to be a Charger, a Spitter, a Hunter, and a Smoker, so there still is a lot of damage potential in this area right here as the survivors start pushing up. Not in this wide open area that they're in, but the next area is kind of full of common, and it's also kind of permeated with a bunch of choke points, like small choke points, I should say.
Yeah, with the scattered vehicles and the seated tents and the dumpsters, there's a little, this is a little tough for the survivors, especially now that they're moving slow. If they move fast, maybe one more hit, but if they take an attack or take a down, actually it's going to be 2 more SI hits. A little dangerous. They're opting to pull all the way to the right through the tents in order to maybe minimize SI damage, but we have the SI attack going in with the smoke going out. Nice skeet there by Chi. Unfortunately, the Smoker is the only thing that lands. The Charger whiffs all the way through the survivors. Actually comes in for a punch. Nice work. But we do have the survivors limping towards the safe room, and in fact, Nick is actually going to be... Lawnmower is actually going to be very, very slow here. We might have some staggered spawns coming in, but the survivors, I think, are going to take the safe room at this point.
Yeah, the one thing about that is the Charger went for the long charge instead of... He might have been trying to hit Ellis, who was pulled at the same point in time, because I don't think it would make sense to go for non-bonus in that situation. We do have a nice double cap landing. All the survivors getting hit except for the health bonus at this point. Spit's going to go down as well, trying to hit the health bonus. A little bit more damage going out onto Lucky Dog. That was almost a terrible situation for the survivors, and actually it's heading that way due to the fact that the 2 survivors are down, and they actually are going to be able to get to the safe room. I thought it was going to be a lot worse, because 3 survivors go down there, and the only person left up is one with bonus. That's not a good scenario to have.
No, it's not, but actually we have Team Proximity heading into the safe room. They made it all the way there. Not as high a health bonus as they could have, but with a chapter score of 744 and their campaign total cresting over 1,000, they are going to take the lead and take survivors first in map 3 of Dead Center inside the mall.
Yeah, and this mall chapter has been the bane of almost like... I don't know how many teams I've seen lose the lead on map 3 just due to the fact that there is such a potential for one or even both teams, as we saw in the match last night, to make like over 1,200 points on this map. And it also really depends on the tank. Our tank is late. That's a 71% tank. That is gonna be... Boy, that actually might be the event. I'm not entirely sure, but that actually might be the event if I'm not completely mistaken.
Event tank. That's exciting. And something else I'd like to note about this map is that there's so many... This map varies from team to team. There's so many different areas you can choose to take different attacks, or send in different attacks as the SI for Team Aniimu. So you can choose to hit right outside the safe room door, which I think Team Aniimu looks like they're opting for, or you could go a little later and hit on the escalators. There's definitely a whole bunch of choice to be made right there, and it can really make or break how far the survivors make it. I think this is a really good Left 4 Dead 2 map in general. It's really, really good, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see how these teams take it. There's a whole bunch of variants that I usually see on different teams playing this campaign.
Yeah, and with that tank is late, it's going to be the same story, different setting for the situation we saw last chapter, where if the survivors take a large amount of damage, as Team Aniimu did before that tank, that event at the end is similar to the Cola in the sense that, you know, in order to make it all the way through with any kind of bonus, you need to have people fast, or it's even a very, very large potential for wipes at that spot. So it's really going to depend on what kind of damage Aniimu can do beforehand, playing off the Witch, playing off the escalator choke points, all that kind of stuff. And the fact that I really, really like about it is that when you have a Survivor team and the game is this close, like, I always like seeing how the Survivor teams differentiate in their style of play. Xby saying he might be in the wrong mumble or channel for Aniimu. Let's see. Are you in there with Kyo or somebody? Oh god. Oh god, Xby, no. That right there is the reason why we heard the language that we did instead of the English that was promised to us. So Xby's ready to burn Chi at the stake. But instead, we have a situation where our caster is unfortunately, or our streamer, I should say, is actually wrong channel. That's unfortunate.
That is unfortunate. But just to bounce back to the game here, I guess with a late tank like this, thing you don't think about when you're playing just, you know, regular vanilla Left 4 Dead 2 is the fact that you can't get your health back in competitive Left 4 Dead 2, and even if you take little bits amount of damage, you know, 20 health here, 30 health there. It can add up over time, especially, and lead to a situation where once you're at the late tank, you're out of pills, you're bleeding, you're slow, and it's rough having a late tank here, especially in a map like this. We do have Team Aniimu setting up right outside the safe room with a dangerous spit charge potential here. Let's see how they take this.
Let's see how it goes. The survivors are pushing out, and it looks like the survivors have overtaken the SI spawns here, because usually you try to see them hit like at the start, but instead the survivors have pushed their way out and are now in, I think, a little bit better position, as a matter of fact, except if they don't block that spawn behind them, which is where the SI are trying to come from. That's exactly where they are going to come from. We are going to see a smoke go out on a coach. Charger's going to go in there, plows into a fence. Charger is going to die as that spit goes down on nothing. So that could have been a lot worse had the Charger actually been able to land on the pulled survivor. Like, that looked disastrous for a second, but the survivors made a nice play to turn that around.
Exactly. Fortunately, Coach was pulled just on the other side of the fence. The Charger was trying to get there, but went a little bit too early to grab him. Very nice take, though, by the survivors, managing to shut down that jockey up front, as well as kill the Charger immediately after he was done stumbling. We do have a Boomer going in here. Very nice pop there by Lawnmower, and shredding the Arctic Fox, shredding the smoker in the background. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there.
We have another half hit coming in here. Charger almost lands on the separated She right there. Gets a punch instead. A little bit of a staggered hit by Aniimu, and Steps tank, if Steps tank has to deal with team proximity running at the health they are now, he's gonna have to do work. Because even though we said it's either at the event, the nightmare scenario, right, is that it's actually before the event, and then the tank is going to have to run all the way back to an open area. Beautiful boom going out right there. Hunter, Spitter, and Jockey for the rest of the SI, who might decide to capitalize on this, but I think they're going to play the Witch. But like I said, for that tank, the nightmare scenario then is if you actually have to run and chase the survivors back through the map if it doesn't spawn in the actual event. And then also during the event, if there's no horde there, that's a very tough area to play SI.
Yeah, and now we have the Witch up in hands. The survivors obviously want to get that extra 20 points. Whenever you kill the Witch without the Witch damaging a survivor, you do get 20 points. And we do have them drawing hit here in the hands of Lawnmower. I'm sorry, Lucky Dog. Nice crown there on the Witch, as well as shutting down that Charger. As well as, was that a skeet on the Hunter? Did I miss that? Yes, it was.
That was a great shutdown right there. That Charger almost clipped Lucky Dog on the side there as he was getting the crown. But even, I think, even if the Charger had hit him, I think he probably would have still gotten the crown. Very nice play. Heads up situation right there. And like I said, he stood his ground, did not move backwards. I love that for Witch crowns, where you sit in the same spot, let the Witch come to you, and then hopefully nothing slams you in the back. And in that case, he wouldn't have been slammed in the back, so it was a good call. Next hit's going to be a Jockey, Hunter, Boomer, and Spitter. And here, Karen, is where we have to start seeing exactly what the percentage is. This tank's going to be not right away, but it's going to happen soon. Nice hit coming in right here. Hunter landing in the front with a spit, but I think the spit's a little bit late there, as a matter of fact, so it didn't get the capitalization, and the Boomer does get popped.
Yep. Oh, and just one thing to note for people who don't typically play competitive Left 4 Dead 2, the survivors are forced all the way down to the 3rd floor, the bottom of the mall, in this event, in this horde. They have to go up 3 flights of stairs, or yeah, 2 flights of stairs to the 3rd floor instead of just the 1 escalator as in normal campaign or vanilla versus.
Exactly, and this is, I don't know, with this hit that they've got here, they can either play the escalator or they could play the hit from the ceiling. It's going to be a smoker, a spitter, jockey, and a charger. What would you do here, Karanj? I think I would save it.
Yeah, I'd go for the big play. If you could get the pull or the charge off of the second escalator up, you know, the normal hit, which you usually see, that's going to make the tank's life a whole lot easier. It's not going to be perfect, but with the health that Proximity has right now, the survivors or the infected Team Aniimu need to make a dent.
Well, this is interesting. So the survivors have triggered the event. I think they're scared due to the fact that they know the tank is coming. And I don't know why they did that really coordinated move back, maybe just to see if any of the SI were going to spawn from up top. This is a really, really interesting tank spawn, because if it happens before they push the escalator, they're going to have to fight it on the second floor here, which is a place to take it, but the optimal location is the third floor, because then you don't have spawns coming in on top of you either. So this could really, really change the way this game is going, depending on what happens on this hit right here.
Yeah, this SI Team Aniimu have the ideal hit for this escalator here. And the survivors have to take this choke in order to spawn that tank. They do get some chip on Step, who is the jockey right now. Nice little bit of chip, but you know, nothing too dangerous for the SI. They still have a lot of potential here. We have Lucky Dog baiting with his Silence Doozy. He does rush up, manages to leap the Charger.
What the
but
hell?
The Charger charges and Proxy's coach up, who was hung, but he drops down.
That was
And a little bit of spit
really
damage.
odd. Pole going out, not managing to land on the Alex there. I thought he was in cap for a second, but he instead just dropped. Yeah, he hung onto the glass. That's what that was. Okay. Smoker's gonna get a pull on Lucky Dog. Obviously, no real damage going out. Actually, there is a lot of damage going out. What am I talking about? I thought they were gonna clear that right away, but instead he didn't get dropped down. He just took a bunch of common damage, and now the tank is up for Team Aniimu into the hands of Step. Let's take it over to the correct Special Infected Worm now to hear how Aniimu plays it out.
Then find one. Okay. Be ready then.
I got the boomer.
Nice. Nice.
Even better. Wait.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go now on him. I'll get it.
Behind you, Rochelle,
Okay,
behind you, Rochelle. It's 2 cap, only Rochelle left. Okay, at least it's free. Nice time.
And we are back from that Team Aniimu Worm. That was looking to be white potential for a minute there, KRNG, because Step committed when there was a full horde, and then that double boom did land, but the survivors were able to burger him and get out of that situation.
Yeah, like the heads up play by Arctic Fox. I think I heard 4, maybe 5 katana slashes there at the end. It really, even though the damage spread on the tank was fairly even, I think it was Arctic Fox's last little push of katana swings there that managed to get that tank down. Also another level by Arctic Fox onto the Charger. And the survivors managed to shut down the alarm and go through this little choke point here. The tank, like you said, was looking to be significant white potential. How it got an early corner as well as committed with the horde and a double boom. But I think that Arctic Fox Burger was the key that is pushing the survivors forward right now.
I think as well now, this is going to put even more pressure on Aniimu, and the whole concept of having pressure put on the teams is something that we mentioned a lot. But it really does start to add up in a situation like this, where it's like, yeah, it's video gaming, but at this point they're going to need to have a way to come back and try to make that, get that score delta to be less than it is. We have that hit going in. Boomer didn't get anything. The Hunter got cleared very quickly. The Charger got a couple punches, and some of the survivors are slow now, but at the same point in time, that's not going to do it really for Aniimu. I think we're going to see Team Proximity make it with at least a little bit of bonus here.
Exactly, but it's dead center. The campaign is definitely not over. We saw both teams make over 1,200 points on this map last night. Actually, I think both teams went over 1,250. We have a nice boom going there in the back, as well as the atrium is its own little situation with how many points can be made there. Something that's usually a white potential in vanilla is easily beaten on competitive. A nice little shutdown there, even with that single boom, a good M2 on the jockey, as well as a kill on the spitter.
And I think that might give like another half a hit depending on whether or not they down Lucky Dog. And yeah, I think they're going to have spawns either to send another full in, or they're just going to try to do some kind of trolley delay to either get the bonus off of Arctic or Lawnmower. But like I said, that's going to give Team Proximity a pretty nice position here. Last hit for Aniimu for the round is going to be a Smoker, Hunter, Spitter, and a Charger. Smoker's going to try to go in from the back with that Hunter. Smoker gets a pull. Nice skeet going out. Spit's going to go down, and here comes the Charger as well. Going in, stumbling the survivors, but I think the person who took the person who took an in-cap there was not bonus.
Yeah, they still have a little bit of damage on the bonus, but not too much, and we're going to have Team Proximity walk into the safe room with a tiny bit of bonus, but full distance points is significant enough. It puts a little bit of pressure on Aniimu because they at least have to make it to the safe room to keep this game competitive. We have a chapter score of a little bit over 800, 808 to be exact, and a campaign total of 1,814 for Team Proximity. We're going to have Aniimu taking over the survivors.
I mean, at this point, like I said, Proximity did a good job there. They made the round. Obviously, not a whole lot of bonus to speak of, but just getting those distance points, again, that's going to put the pressure on Aniimu to, you know, take that tank in the same spot. The advantage for Aniimu, though, is that they do know where the tank is now. So that's going to let them know that they're just going to have to go up, get kind of halfway, you know, they're going to have to deal with that escalator hit, and then after that they can push up and then deal with the tank in a spot that's pretty favorable for the survivors if they don't get boomed. That's the only thing about it, because even when the survivors were on top of those two, like, kiosks there, the tank was able to punch them. And like I said, that was very, very close to a wipe. It's going to be a lawnmower tank. What's going to happen on this first hit here, Karen? We have a Spitter, Jockey, Smoker, and a Charger.
I'm interested to see what happens, actually. Significant charge spit potential. We have a Smoker spawning up early. Nice smoke there. Charger manages to take a survivor coming out of the safe room trying to help. You have significant jockey separation here. And actually a decent amount of damage. Aniimu cannot take any more hits like that, but a very nice attack by Team Proximity.
Yeah, that automatically starts off a little bit better than we saw Team Aniimu on their special infected, due to the fact that that got just over 70 damage. That's a good way to start, but then that might trigger a little bit of, okay, we took some damage, let's push some chokes, which I think is what Aniimu are doing, and they did manage to push that choke right there. Boomer goes in and gets a single boom. The rest of the hit is coming in. Looks as though, actually now it's a double boom with that proxy. We're going to have that Smoker missing. The spit goes down on nothing. Charger, though, managing to land in the corner there on a survivor, and in a little bit of spit, as a matter of fact. So that was, again, another pretty nice hit.
Yeah, definitely. And the survivors now have one bleeding. Always a scary thing to have a bleeder before tank, especially an event tank like that. It's already dangerous enough. I think Aniimu was trying to do what we saw a team, actually Fuckboys, do last night, which was set the pace with their survivor play, really rush through there. We have the Witch draw right now. The Witch is taking a little bit of chip from their allies. However, the Smoker gets a pull. Very nice heads up clear there. And we have a Hunter in the back. A good clear by the survivors. Actually, the Jockey manages to take the survivor that pulled the Witch, and the Witch manages to down her. Fortunately, that survivor did not have most of the health bonus, was already bleeding, so it's not as bad as it could have been. However, you never want bleeders before tank.
Yeah, especially this tank, because like we said, with the event around now, they're going to have to keep feeding step pills. They don't get the 20 points to the crown as well. It's still a relatively close game, and even if they wipe at the tank, it would still be like 500 points. But literally, I think what they need to do right here is they need to just, like, not take any damage before the tank from this point on. Like, if they take another down or something like that, that could be catastrophic. We have a charge and a smoke and a spit going down as I say that, with a Jockey landing in the back. So they did the exact opposite of my doctor-prescribed advice. They have somebody black and white. Don Arnie almost takes it down. That was a fantastic hit from Team Proximity.
Great job by Proximity, yeah. They popped right out of that vent and surprised the survivors there with a nasty spit on the stairwell. That's kind of what you see a lot on Dead Center, is when you have the spitters. Spitters are very, very dangerous with these narrow corridors on Dead Center. We now have the survivors pushing out with a few bleeders here into the event, as well as this tank still to come, as well as another full hit. Ooh, a nice triple boom there, nice drop down in proxy. We have a charge up in front, they need to clear that. That's their black and white player, and 100 manages to latch on. Another significant amount of damage. They're gonna have, I think they have someone slow. They don't have enough pills to go around.
Well, at this point, I'm debating it from a spectator seat, obviously, but I would almost say they need to push the tank, because if they take it back there, even with the health that they've got, they have one survivor black and white, they have another that's one hit from being down, and then they still have to deal with the event horde and the tank. So if they go back here, like, I don't know if this is the right call, honestly. I think they need to push it, because this is not going to end well for them. Tank's in the hands of Lawnmower, and let's take it quickly over to a Team Proximity Worm and see if they can secure the wipe here on Aniimu.
Buckle up, folks.
Got 2.
Carlos is a scratch.
Yeah.
I think they pushing. Yeah, they wanna put a bell.
The horde stops pretty soon, I think. It's probably stopping
There's
right about
one
now.
guy all the way back forward. Oh damn, they don't even care.
We're up.
What?
I think just commit.
Yeah, I am.
Oh!
What? It didn't fly down? Oh, okay. That's right.
Oh, great
Nice.
tank! Good job, Gohan. Good job.
We are back from that short proximity worm, wipe coming out from the tank in the hands of Lawnmower there, and that was exactly what I was kind of leading into, Carnage, because, like, in that situation, if they would have gotten just, like, what, 50 or 70 more points of distance, that would have gone better than it had they tried to fight that tank where they did with one survivor slow and one black and white.
Yeah, like you said, even though Team Aniimu took a wipe there, I have to agree with their call to push forward into the tank rather than hang back. So, yeah, I think that's about as good as they were going to get there. We are going into the atrium here, a very different chapter for Left 4 Dead 2. It actually incorporates a little bit of elements of scavenge because they need to go to all the corners of the mall and find the gas cans. They also have a spitter, or they have a witch right outside of the elevator. And actually, Rails, I think there was an update earlier saying that as long as you can pull the witch from up top, but if you don't, as long as you don't shut the elevator doors and you let the witch come all the way up, you can't go back to the safe room, you can't go into the elevator, you have to let her come all the way up to the 3rd floor. I think that was posted on Left 4 Dead Nation.
That was posted before I talked to Fig, but then I talked to
Okay.
Fig and he actually edited his post because we talked about it in this particular circumstance, right? What happens is you shoot the witch and either she passed to the top, right?
Mhm.
And in that situation, it takes her like a metric year pretty much to get up there. And then the way from what Fig and I talked about that you'd have to kill that witch, you would really have to have all 3 of your Uzis sit up top and drill the witch up top wherever she is on the map until she dies. Because if you go in the elevator, it's a 0 score, right? So if she's in that infinite loop like that, or if she just plain out glitches out and just runs away, that's a 0 score. Or on the survivor side, you're gonna have to sit there and use your Uzi and your shotgun to drill the witch before you go in the elevator. So it's effectively a 0 score in that sense. So if they want to take the risk and shoot her from up top and then have her run the entire map, or has she does 90% of the time and glitch out, then that's up to them. But I'm telling them how it is pretty much, because I have almost never seen that witch get up here cleanly. Like, that's just how it is.
Exactly. We do have a hit coming in here. The Hunter popping around with the jockey spawning in the woman's bathroom. Hunter goes in, manages to get dead stopped and shut down. However, the charger lands, but the spit goes all the way in the back and lands under the vending machines.
So the spitball went back there and almost like a quarter in a slot, actually held itself in the middle of the drink machine and then like hung there in the air for a second and then decided to fall to the ground and spread over where the charger was. So now this is interesting here, Karen. We had a pretty interesting, lively conversation with Xbox Pushat yesterday in terms of what happens at this witch hit here, because where the witch is positioned right here, there is a chance for a lot of spit potential, but as a matter of fact, we don't see a spitter on this hit.
Yeah, something that happened last night was if you spit at the correct spot right outside the elevator, it will spread in and damage all of the survivors, having it very, very difficult because they are standing in spit. There's a witch outside the door, and they have a full hit. But with no spitter here, we're just going to have to see how the survivors manage to take this witch right outside the elevator door.
Looks as though they're going to draw the witch in, and she is running around the side? I've never seen... Where is she going? What is this? I've never seen the witch do... Where is she going? What?
She decided she wanted to go do some pull-ups over on this ledge
Wait,
here.
no, I'm confused. Where is she? I really need to know. Where is the witch? Where is the gate? Where is the witch going? She's going up top. Is she going for the tank? What the fuck? She's going for this. She's trying to kill the tank. The witch is trying to kill the tank.
Oh, the tank must have done something bad to piss the witch off like that. Yes, I think the infected were saying something happens to the witch whenever the boomer, I think it was the AI infected after the player took control of the tank is the one that startled the witch. I think it might have been the boomer, so she went off and went after the player who became the tank there. So unfortunately the tank, I think, do the survivors get the points for that since the tank
Yes,
killed
they
it?
do. The tank is committing right here. He's got Rochelle. They have the rest of the hit coming in. Smoker's going to land onto Nick. Jockey's going to land onto Ellis. Hunter is coming in as well. That's a beautiful cover going out. And the tank gets the intercept right after that Hunter was cleared. He's now going to keep punching Nick around right there. Lots and lots and lots of damage going out from this tank in the hands of Don Arnie. He's going to have to get out now, though, due to the fact his support is dead. But, Jesus, we got that entire, like... I mentioned what Fig said, then I mentioned what I said, and then the Witch decided to do that. And just, yeah, please do X-Spy. That was a thing of absolute beauty right there. That is competitive Left 4 Dead in a nutshell. And this tank still has wipe potential here, but he is almost dead. He's actually working his way back in. I think he sees some kind of sep, but he gets killed. Charter goes in, not able to land, and that's going to give Team Proximity a pretty good grasp of winning this game.
Yeah, Proximity doesn't have to make it far, and they're already starting to juggle cans in. The cans in go real... It seems like the cans go in really, really fast on competitive Left 4 Dead. Or, you know, in Pro Mod, the survivors are very coordinated, able to throw those cans all the way down there. Looks like they're already going to have almost 5 cans in before the next hit is even up. They stop at 3 with a Boomer and Spitter spawning up. Spitter decides to spit on the cans, manages to get to light on 1. The Jockey and Hunter are trying to land on Coach. They managed to get a nice double cap on Coach and Nick, but that is going to be the end of the hit, and they're going to probably throw in this last can.
Yeah, and at this point, I think Team Aniimu, looking at Proximity's health, they still have 3 sets of pills on the table there, so at the very least, they need to get a wipe at the second tank here, and that's actually really hard to pull off in an open area like this where the survivors have 3 Uzi slowdown. Obviously, the way in which they got damage on the first tank there was landing some separation caps that the tank could then punch after the tank got a couple hits on one of the other survivors, but just having the survivor team flush out into the open and take that tank with its SI support would be what they're going to probably look to do. Nice pull going out. Charter's actually going there and then immediately stops. Hunter's going to go and bounce in, managing to get some God frames for Lucky right there, who jumps out of the spit. All of the SI basically going for Lucky Dog on that play. They got his bonus down. Arctic Fox takes a little bit of fall damage, but the more important part for Team Proximity is that they got those cans.
Exactly. I think usually we'd say really, really nice damage by Aniimu on Team Proximity here, but the score difference at this point, Aniimu needs something bigger. Aniimu needs a wipe. They need to stop these cans flowing in, because at this point, you know, just making the map isn't enough. Animu's going to have to take some health bonus with them into the Jimmy Gibbs stop car.
Indeed they are. Nice separation jockey right there onto Rochelle. We are going to see the Charger go for a survivor who is up top right there, trying to get the level, got the hit on it, but did not kill it. Nice 9 damage pounds coming out there by KO. And I think that set of pills they've got in their hands now is indeed the last. And I think Twitch chat, indeed Zombie Man in particular, did just tell me what went down there, where the jockey blocked the witch and then she was still angry at Don Arnie when he became the tank and wanted to exact her revenge. And that's also what X-Spy said. I appreciate everyone for the input on that, but the other thing I'm confirming is that that's never been seen before, or at least very, very rarely in competitive Left 4 Dead 2. That was a moment. Tank's in the hands of Step right here, Karen, and he needs a wipe.
Yes, he does, and that witch thing was still funny. Doesn't matter how it happened, it was still really, really funny. Should we take it over to a war room here, or with the survivors at their health level? Looks like they're actually... I think we should just keep it here, because the survivors aren't even looking at the tank. They're just going for cans. It's all about the cans right now.
Yeah, that's going to force the tank to commit, as a matter of fact. Jumping down onto the roof here, throwing a rock, almost hitboxing one of the survivors there. Still working his way, and he needs to get this wipe. Nice punch going out. Tank is going to turn back around here and keep pursuing the rest of the survivors, I think, because the hit's coming in at the same point in time. Nice charge going out onto a separated survivor over there. Smoker pull is going to go out as well. Tank is doing a good job blocking here, and Rochelle is just going to come at the tank with her melee as the double cap lands in the back. So that is going to be the wipe, and I have actually seen it more often than not. I'm not going to try to jinx anyone here. I swear we've already seen enough witches doing AI work to jinx everyone that I don't need to say anything. But at this point, they actually didn't get the points for the witch. Yeah, this map in general, X-Spy is saying, but you know, the first team plays it kind of passively in a sense, you know, to get the cans in. And I think honestly, between the first and the second tank, you can get at least like 9 or 10 cans in. So if Team Aniimu takes the first tank well enough, we could see them just pull off a stunning comeback here, a la what the fuckboys did last night.
Exactly, and just to let everybody know, I know the caster HUD sort of blocks out the can counter. Team Proximity made 7 cans into the Jimmy Gibbs car, and we have to see, I think, I think Team Aniimu needs to actually make all the cans in as well as a little bit of health bonus to secure this win.
Move this map like we were moved back to school, down dead center. Oh boy. No, I really like Dead Center. I've deeply enjoyed the games that I've seen on it so far, honestly, including the scrims. Like it's been evenly matched. It's come down to situations like this, highly competitive affairs, and indeed the last
Better
half
than
of this
Swamp.
one's going live. Yeah, better. Yeah. Some people don't like Swamp Fever, but I personally like Swamp Fever. I personally like a lot of the maps, honestly. The only one that I really just cannot stand is if you put me on, which was one of the custom maps. I'm trying to remember exactly which one it was. I think it was Dark Blood 2. I start losing my mind. So most of the stock maps I can deal with, but that one, that custom map really pisses me off. We have Team Aniimu trying to make the comeback on the survivor side here. This hunter is being extremely sneaky and is spawned up on the windowsill, and Nick's actually jumping and almost hitting his head on the hunter's feet. If he looks straight up, he would see it, but the hunter's actually trying to wall kick. Now he's gonna back out and manages to land onto Nick. We have the stick going down right there with a jockey too. An okay amount of damage. That was really, really awkward, K-Orange.
Sneaky hunters. Unfortunately, the hunter actually didn't land quite as surprisingly on Nick, but Nick managed to back out through the door. You know, a little bit of damage, but not much. This is actually pretty good for Team Aniimu. They don't want to take all that damage up top, and you usually don't see devastating hits up top. But we do have the Smoker, Hunter, and Charger, and Boomer down below. Hopefully the Boomer does not screw up the Witch. We'll just have to see how Team Aniimu takes this Witch Crown.
Smoker, Boomer, Hunter, and a Charger for that hit, so no Spitter once again. And honestly, I'm expecting miracles at this point. I'm expecting the Witch to like Kai jump off the ceiling and then like jump at the survivor's face. That Boomer's gonna proxy 3 into the elevator there. Hunter goes in for a scratch. Witch goes in, gets it down on the Uzi player, as a matter of fact. Tank is in the hands of Arctic Fox. I think he might be close enough to capitalize on this, depending. If yeah, he's going the way that you're supposed to, but actually he's not gonna be able to get quite there. But obviously that Witch gets it down, helping Team Proximity's case right here. How about we take it over to Team Proximity Special Infected Worm to see how they're gonna play this tank?
Yeah, so let's not worry about it.
Okay, I'm ready whenever.
We should get on Rochelle and Coach down here.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Let's go, let's go.
Oh, how do you get cleared? M2?
Yeah.
Oh, it's close.
Delayed M2.
That's all he's pulled, that sucks.
If you're losing sight, might want to rotate maybe.
You can see Nick.
You can get on the stair and look at them. I don't think they're aware of that.
Oh. Close.
So close.
I should have Boomer. Yeah, this might be good for a commit.
Tries to come in.
If you want.
Once everybody's ready, though.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's have him.
Fucking Boomer, seriously?
Oh, you're chasing him, sorry.
Nice punch.
Nice.
Nice. Ooh, nice punch, too.
Nice try.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
I thought you were like pushed down in the open. I just tried to get the boom on the back, my bad.
And we are back. Similar amounts of damage really going out from those tanks in the sense that the player who was down by the Witch also add onto that total because now it's 3 bleeding, and I swear Aniimu needs to make absolute tracks on this map. I really expect they have to get like at least like 9 in before the second tank spawns so they can take that. They have 3 sets of pills on them, 1 more on the table. We have a hit coming in. Smoker is going to miss. Hunter going for a DP, barely landing, or barely missing, I should say. That 1 can is gonna get... What? What? It's in between the fucking kiosk and it didn't get burned by the spit?
Nope. Oh, heads up play by the survivors there, shoving that can in between the kiosks where the spit couldn't quite get to it and not not lighting it on fire.
I actually don't understand. That one burned.
Yeah, and that one actually got caught on fire, but the survivors here, Team Aniimu. Actually, we have another hit coming in, a little bit of separation. Nice self-clear, though, by Coach. Sismo played on Team Aniimu. We need the survivors actually really need to shove these cans into that car. Good dodge on that spit. They do have a jockey, a little bit of separation there. Jockey couldn't quite get around the corner, but the survivors, again, still need to start getting the cans in there. 1 can is bugged. Where are you seeing that?
It was bugged, apparently. They still need 10 more cans. Yeah, he had to pop it, because if a bug like that occurs, then they just need to, like, shoot it, count their losses, and go get it again. That's going to be 4 cans in the tank. So they need to get 9 more in order to win the game, and they also need to kill a tank. So this is a pretty lofty order, especially with the way the proximity special infected has been playing. But I think at this point is where they just need to like pretty much push the upstairs and do like some heroic work. Jockey going in, landing onto Rochelle, is going to get cleared. They finally found the spitter, and they do kill the spitter, so that's actually really, really fortunate for Aniimu right here. Nice M2 as well by Rochelle. I mean, they could do it, K-Orange. They could do it.
They could do it, especially if they hold on to KO's health bonus here. KO, Nicholas actually holding the last of the health bonus.
Well, that's a tank. That's a tank, and the tank's right there.
Wow,
the tank is
tank's
committing. This is going to be interesting. Rock going in, missing. Charter going for Nick, landing in the corner, landing the separation cap. This is the commit. That's going to be a corner onto Coach as well. They're going to be punting Team Aniimu around. Tank in the hands of Lucky Dog. This is not looking good for Aniimu right now. Nice jockey landing. Nice punch onto Ellis as well. Another punch going out. And this is looking to be the wipe. Rochelle is cornered now. Nick is trying to get the pickup up top, but there are no sets of pills left, even if he does. Tank has 4,000 HP, and K-Orange, this could be it.
Yeah, I think it is as well. The health bonus is not high enough even to make the score, even if they make it to the Jimmy Gibbs car. Nice skeet there by KO on Lucky Dog's Rock. But that instant tank commit, the tank spawning right there too, was really, really nicely played by Proximity. Tank's going to push in and secure the death on Coach. Poor Coach, and that is the wipe with a final score of Team Proximity with campaign total of 2,226 to Team Animu's 1,567. Very well played by both teams.
Yeah, again, a very entertaining game right there. We saw it be close right from the outset with the way both these teams played. They're really, I think the big score differential really was like, I would say map 2 even over map 3 with the health bonus that Team Proximity was able to preserve through that, so hats off to them to win. Commiserations to Team Aniimu, and unfortunately for Aniimu, that's going to drop them to 2 and 3 in the really big tournament number 3. Team Proximity has reignited their playoff chances. They are going to be at 3 and 2. If they win next week and get to 4 and 2, then they could find a way to sneak into that playoff bracket. Probably as like the 7th, 8th, maybe even 6th spot. It really depends on how the rest of the games go.
Yep. That was a really, really good game, and thank you all very, very much for watching. I think we have more games coming through this weekend. I don't know the specific schedule on any of them. Do you, Rails?
Well, as a matter of fact, I do believe Kiss Me is going to be covering a game at 6:30 between Team Sultan of Suck and Team Animosity Gaming, and then I believe there is a headline matchup tonight at 11 o'clock, Whatever's versus Eclipse, which is going to be a game. That is going to be a game.
Whew.
So I still have to get a couple of the specifics of the schedule out, but expect those 2 games later today. Watch Left4Dead.com and either XBuy or Kiss Me stream, depending on how we sort that out. But obviously, thank you to everyone who came out to watch this match from any continent in which you were on, and we will hope to see you later in the day for a couple more of these matches. It's been a fantastic round so far, Karen. We've been here for both games that were casted.
Yep, I'm loving Dead Center as a competitive map. I'm just going to throw it out there. They're really exciting games to watch.
It really is. So again, thank you everybody for watching. Do you have any final thoughts on that game, Karen, or are we Gucci?
I think we're Gucci, and I just want to shout out, thank you all very much, everybody in XBuy stream right now. Especially, I see a couple new faces there saying that this is the first time they've seen some competitive Left 4 Dead 2. Come back for the next few games whenever you get a chance and chat. And I hope to see you guys next time.
Indeed, and kind of off that, I have to get this in because Zombie Man messaged it to me, and he said he wants to. What do you want to do? I will nipple twist Xerox Shadow's big nipples. Okay, cool. Thank you for putting that in. Thank you for that.
Interesting.
Zombie. Yeah, I appreciate that reference to Zero. So, all right, thank you everybody for watching, and we will see you hopefully later in the day for more of these matches. Thank you XBuy for streaming, Karen for co-casting, and have a great evening, everyone.
Good night.